Hi, I'm Doug.
And I'm Cathy.
This is Maggie Mae. Join us as we follow the moon. Today, we are in northern Arkansas in the Ozarks. And as you can see behind us, we've got some amazing things to show you. So come along with us and enjoy.
Thanks.
Now, the first place that we're going to today is Indian Rock Cave and Trail. This is in Fairfield Bay, and Fairfield Bay is a golfing community. Not exactly where you'd expect to see this.
Yeah.
They've got a great little cabin there that's all period correct, as well as a museum. And at the head of the Indian Trails golf course, you'll find this. This was actually visited by De Soto in 1542 when he was looking for the Fountain of Youth. And as part of the National Registry of Historic Places, it was placed on that in 1982. It's huge.
And it's just beautiful.
You see the birds flying into it and out of it. Now there's also a couple of smaller little caves in the back, and those were probably used for their cooking, or maybe even to stay warm when it got really cold out.
Yeah.
But in this one, you could actually look up in it and see where there had been fire, there had been smoke in the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Now this did have petroglyphs, and you can see them there in the side of the stone. There were several places inside the cave that had the petroglyphs. But it wasn't just this one spot. There were more of them all the way along this wall.
Yeah, you could go as far as you wanted to, or as far as you felt comfortable.
It was a pretty easy walk. There were a few places where it was a little bit slanted, and you have to be a little careful if it's wet out, slick out. There were quite a few little caves like that. These fascinated me, that just go under the rocks like that. But a beautiful, beautiful place.
That's something about Arkansas. It was filled with beautiful natural things.
And the next one was Blanchard Springs and Mirror Lake. Now the parking area was a round area and very easy walking. There were concreted paths like that, as well as boardwalks. And from the parking area, one direction would take you back towards the springs. So that's the direction we're starting off.
Even though there were all of the walkways were easy to walk, you were still surrounded by this natural beauty that was just unbelievable.
Look at the butterflies. They were all over.
Yes, they were.
And this is where the springs came out. On this little area where you're standing up looking over it, when you walk up onto that, the temperature had to drop 5 or 10 degrees.
That was a big surprise.
You could just feel the cold air coming off of that spring.
All you had to do was just step away a little ways, and the temperature would come back up, and then step back over there just a few steps, where it would just completely drop.
Now this is that circular parking area where we started. We're going to go the other way. We're going to go downstream now. And as we go downstream, we come to Mirror Lake. Now this is all fed from this spring. You can see the fellas fishing up there on the side. It's supposed to be a great fishing area. And at the end of the lake here, it does have the dam and the waterfall. That dam was put in because there was a grist mill there.
Now that's not the original one.
Now the original one was wood, and it deteriorated over time, but it was still pretty amazing. Next up is Natural Bridge. Natural Bridge is in Clinton, Arkansas, and we kind of actually stumbled across this by billboards by accident.
Yeah.
Has a great little store in there with handmade local items. And as you go out of the office and gift store, you come across this little historic museum. It's actually a cabin. It's got an Ozarks still mounted underneath it. And inside, a lot of authentic finds from those pioneering days. Those are all washing machines over there underneath the moonshine jugs.
I love the cradle.
And the bathtub.
Yeah. I've always been fascinated with that stuff.
And then there's also a little area there over the side where you can set for a picnic. Those round rocks are not formed by glaciers. They're actually formed down inside in pockets in the earth. And these I loved, the turtle rocks. But this is the natural bridge. And if you see the crack there in the left-hand side, that happened, and I don't remember the date, but it was in the 1800s. There was an earthquake in the area, and the two sides shifted far enough that it actually cracked the bridge, but it still held intact.
Prior to that, they'd had big picnics where we saw a picture of about 40, 50 people out there just hanging out, having a picnic. It was great.
Beautiful area right around that natural bridge. But once you've gotten your pictures there at the bottom looking up at the bridge, there's a very easy trail that moves across, and then there's stairs at the end. If stairs are a problem, this part of it you might not want to go on. But there's wooden stairs, and then they eventually do go into the gravel like the rest of the walkway. Our guide dog was busy taking us to the top.
I love the moss everywhere.
Once you get to the top, you're on the back side of the natural bridge. You can see over the top of it there, as well as underneath it.
It was just amazing.
Now this is an easy one. This is Natural Dam Falls, and as you look at this, it may look like a man-made dam, but this was actually formed by nature, not by man. It's very wide, it's on Natural Dam Road, and this little bridge, people were driving over it while we were there.
Yeah.
We were in the parking area right across the street.
And that was really easy to get to, too.
Yeah, and if you didn't even want to get out of your car, you could drive across it and see it.
Yep.
A lot of water coming over that. Now, we did take a little bit of a hike from that bridge area. We walked downstream a little ways, and the water in Arkansas, the greenish color of it is so beautiful.
Yes, it is.
This is maybe half a mile, if that, off the main road. It's very easy to get to, and you don't have to hike to enjoy it. Now, High Bank Twin Falls, you do have to hike because you can't see any of this from the road. This is one I had some issues with our camera equipment, so I will apologize as it goes along. There's a little bit of shaky footage, but we wanted to piece it together so you'd see it because this is just absolutely magnificent. It's a small falls right there off to the right as you're going back. But once you go back a little bit further, you'll see these twin falls.
That was just so cool. And don't stop halfway back, because you'll miss this.
And they're tall, they're huge.
It took us about an hour round trip, don't you think?
Yeah, I would say, and that was with taking time to get a lot of pictures while we were back there. Now next up, Hawksbill, Crag, and Whittaker Point. This area is, you won't believe some of the views from up here, but it starts off going downhill, which means as you're coming back out of it, it's uphill. So just keep that in mind.
That's right. And also, don't be fooled by thinking, oh, it's only an hour to get to.
Yeah, it's about 3-mile round trip hike, and there's some areas where it's kind of steep. It's not that bad of a trail, but it is kind of steep.
And also the drive back into there was kind of crazy.
Now this is a fall that you'll miss if you take the wrong side of the path, but there's a raccoon running there in the middle of the picture going down into his hole. If you didn't catch it, back it up just a little bit. But this is a little waterfall that's really kind of neat. And as you can see, even though we were going downhill in the beginning of our hike, we're still way up there.
Mm-hmm.
Now along the edge, you'll start to see at this point, you're probably 2/3 of the way back, and you'll start to see some pretty good size boulders. Yeah, along the edge of the canyon. And just to give you an idea, you're still pretty far up there. Now there's one of the first crags we saw. And what a view.
Mm-hmm.
There's Maggie out there. We did have a few discussions about the coyote and the roadrunner when we saw these crags. Now here's one with rocks on top of it. But as great as the views are from the small ones, look at the size of this one.
That's the one everybody wants to see.
That's the one everybody wants to get their pictures out on too. Now next up along Arkansas Route 7 near Jasper is the Arkansas Grand Canyon. It's called that because this is the deepest gorge in the Ozark Mountains. So if you can imagine the Grand Canyon with trees growing on it, it would probably look something like this. Now there's a couple different viewing areas. This one claims to be the deepest canyon in the Ozarks. There's one that's beside a little restaurant. There's one that is a gift shop with a lookout that you can climb the steps and go up in. This is from up on top of that platform. And the view from there.
It was pretty amazing.
They both had great views.
Yeah.
Now this one, that's the parking area. And there is the trailhead, completely unmarked. We missed this the first time we were there. We ended up and got the All Trails app and used it to find this because this is one we really wanted to see. All Trails took us right there. I've only used All Trails a couple times now, and I'm a huge believer.
Now this is an old Jeep trail.
It's rocky. You can tell there's been a lot of water drainage through it. It's basically a wash. Not always a dry wash, but a wash.
And it wouldn't have been easy for Maggie to walk, so that was why she was in the backpack.
It's not marked, and again, I would highly recommend that All Trails app because we got back there and it helped us get back out because I was about ready to go the wrong direction. Once you get back, and it's a relatively short hike back, you're looking down over this little canyon area. But you're standing on top of the gem. Once you climb down around the side, you'll see this. This was actually an old Moonshiners Cave. The cave was there naturally in the rock, and it's been walled across to hide the moonshine operation.
Which is long gone.
Yes. But really, really neat. And good size back in there.
Mm-hmm. I honestly could have seen somebody living there.
Well, as we go out of Moonshiner's Cavern, we want to thank you for joining us. If you haven't yet subscribed to our channel, please do so. We appreciate it. Ring that notification bell so you'll know when we have new videos. And if you've liked what you've seen today in the Ozarks as much as we have, leave us a thumbs up. We really do appreciate it.
And thank you for following us as we follow the moon.
Thanks for watching today.
If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel.
And be sure to ring the notification bell so you'll know when new videos come out.
Don't forget to follow us on social media too.